Welcome everybody to this Train Sim World on Xbox One. Train Sim World Founders Edition. I am just so excited for this. This is just awesome. Right, so what is it? So Train Sim World Founders Edition is it's Train Sim World on the Xbox One, and it features the Great Western Express route, which runs from London Paddington to Reading. He says, trying to remember. I hope everyone's doing very well, by the way. Okay, so so London Paddington to Reading. It's got the HST. I can bring up. Let me switch to the game. So if we go to service mode, so you've got the Class 66. Should load in a moment. There we go. There's the Class 66 in Divishenko livery, and you can also switch that, and you can drive the EWS livery version as well. That one's in there. There's also the HST in Great Western Railways, and there is also the. There you go. There's the Great Western Railways 166. Before we go too much further, can I just get some feedback from the chat? Is the audio coming through okay? Can you see the game okay? How's this all looking for everybody? Loud and clear. Wow. Tell you what, this zero latency thing is incredible. I feel like I'm having a one-to-one conversation. Can you see and hear? Yep, all good. Excellent. So, that's the trains that are included in the pack. You can also spawn on foot in service mode, and then there's the big timetable. So, for example, if I stay with the 166, we stick with the same weather, we carry on, then you've got all these services. Lots and lots and lots of services that you can play. What I'm going to do, though, before we get into service mode, is I thought we'd just start at the beginning, which is not there. It's tutorials. And we'll just do the HST tutorial just to warm ourselves up. You know, remind me how to drive a train. It'll be useful. 1 to 100 conversation. Well, yeah, this is true. This is true. Hey there, Mr. Ribku. How are you doing? Can you be train guard? Yeah, you can tell me what I'm doing wrong. How's that sound? So there are remotes. If you're following the channel, there are remotes that are unique to this channel. I want to see let's see some TSW emotes out there, folks. Let's get some TSW out there. And there's also some icons, some emotes, which will let you make up your own trains. You can create the hype train or the GG train. I'm not going to tell you about the fail train. We don't want to see any fail trains. Yeah, we got some TSW emotes going on there.
Great Western Railway livery. Great work on being accepted as a driver for GWR. Today you're going to learn how to take control of this iconic train, get it moving, and then bring it to a stop.
So when she's talking, I'm going to shut up.
Enter through the cab door in front of you.
Alright, we'll enter the cab door in front of us. So this is running on Xbox One. It's not running on Xbox One X. This is running on an Xbox One, and I'm using my controller. Yeah. Oh yeah, big controller. Right, okay, so let's go ahead and get on the on here.
Take a look around, and when you're ready, have a seat in the driver's chair.
So you can press the right stick to switch to where you've got this control. It's what they call precision control.
Starts by unlocking the reverser.
We'll get into that in a minute. Master key. So what I can do now is if I right click, move the cursor around, I can then quite nicely put it over there and click on what I want to do. Well, there you go. Now I can just use joystick forward.
That alarm is the AWS self-test system. You will need to acknowledge this before continuing. Press the AWS reset button.
B button.
This is the best part, hearing the engine revs build and starting to feel the power this powerful locomotive holds. When you're ready, hit the engine start button on the desk there.
Right, let's go and press the engine start. It's this one over here. So let's use precision mode again. That's it, engine started.
Take you from here, but we'll take it step by step. Set the headlights to day headlamp and mark it.
Set the headlights up. So you move the cursor over, press and hold the A button, and then move this into the place that you want to set it to, which in this instance is day headlamp and marks.
Put the train in forwards, so we're ready to get moving. Using the reverser again, set the handle into forward.
Push it into forward with the left stick again. Now we've got to wait for the brakes to finish charging. So we've just powered the system up and it's now putting air into the system, which means that we're now waiting for all the air, all the service reservoirs and everything to fill up. So there is a short wait here. We just have to wait for it to do what it's doing. Do what it's doing. I just said that, didn't I? Go me. Are we there yet? Look, no, I haven't been streaming much, have I? I do apologise. Been busy. So the gauge, there isn't a gauge to show the brake charge because we're not looking. It's the service reservoirs down the train that are filling up, and there is no gauge for those, unfortunately. So we just have to wait. Most of the time, we don't have to do this. It's because this is a cold start. You have to wait for the brakes to charge up. X-Opera King played this on Xbox today. Absolutely stunning, fantastic. Glad you're enjoying it. There we go.
There. Now apply some power and get this train moving. Ease the throttle handle into notch 1.
So throttle is on the right side, brake is on the left side. So let's just right trigger and we're in throttle 1. We're rolling. Gets this up to speed and then we'll put the brakes on.
I think this is fast enough for now. To maintain our current speed, step the throttle handle back to idle.
Right button, right bumper, pulls us back to idle.
Great, and showing real confidence.
Confidence!
Now is bring the train to a gradual stop. Set the train brake handle to initial to apply a small amount of braking force and let the brakes do the rest.
So left trigger into initial. What you'll notice is that down here, we've in the centre of the screen, this is the bogie brakes. So this indicates that the brakes have actually got pressure applied, and then this is the main the air brake pipe, which is what triggers the brakes to apply. But that's actually what tells us the brakes are actually on the bogies, which is good. It means we're stopping.
You're ready to head out there on your own now. If you remember everything I've shown you here, you will do just fine.
There we go. Job done. The tutorials are nice and short. They teach you how to drive the train, and they will give you the information that you need. So some of these trains they're not, they're quite detailed in the way that they've been implemented. But using the tutorials, there's one for each train. They'll show you what you need to get this thing up and running. So let's go back. I won't dwell on the tutorials. They will basically do the same kind of thing. X-King, ding-a-ling, haven't slept in almost 48 hours waiting for this to release, drinking coffee and running ships. Well, on the one hand, I'm glad you're enjoying it, but on the other hand, maybe some sleep. Right, okay, let's do a scenario. There's people taking photographs out there. Right, okay, what did I say I was going to do? I was going to do down the line. That's what I think I said I was going to do. Let's do down the line. So down the line's a commuter train scenario. It's going to start us in London Paddington. I'm going to pick there's 3 trains you can take. I'm going to pick the middle one, and then we're going to run for, I think it's a half an hour or so. Folks, this is Train Sim World Founders Edition. It's out now on Xbox One. You can pick it up in the Xbox Store. Hey, Rob Jansen, how are you doing? Good to see you. There are links to the emotes down in the channel description, I'm told. So enjoy the emotes, folks. They're there to be enjoyed. Let's see some hype train. Can we get some hype train action? Yeah. Oh, 66 hype train. GoldenEye with a 66 hype train. Shed hype.
Welcome to London Paddington. There are 3 trains available.
Oi, Peachlick. Steady on, son. Steady on.
Increasingly easy journey. Which will you choose?
Which will we choose? Right. So, use the right trigger to run. Click the left thing to crouch. I want to pick the 30-minute, which is on platform 8. 6, 7, 8. Oh, hello. It's platform 8. This will be my train on the left here. Yes, I'm going to show you how to use the cameras. There's some bit of confusion about that. I've seen some of the feedback so far. So I'm going to show you how to use the cameras. There's one button you're missing. It's the Y key. And I'll explain why that is as well. See all the drivers see. There we go.
This train is a semi-stopping service to Slough. Get things set up ready for departure. You'll be heading out shortly.
Alright, let's sort out the master key. The reverser back. You can drive it with a precision controller as well. You don't have to use the L. You pretty much drive the train kind of how you want. There's lots of different options. Put the headlights on. Press the door release button, which is over here. Now you can either press this, or if you press and hold the left D-pad, then you can unlock the doors with that as well, and that'll do the same job. So wait for you see the loading bar in the top left hand corner. Once we get going, I'll show the cameras a bit more. Maxstar, you're playing right now? Excellent. What are you playing in the game, Maxstar? What's your favourite train so far? What's everyone's favourite train so far? There's an emote for each of the trains that's included in this game. Let's have some emote spam. What's your favourite train in the game? It's almost time to close. We've got some sheds. A couple of HSTs coming up. Shed club. Right, we've got to wait till 9:46 before we can go. Oh, we've got some 166s coming as well. Robbie Anson's giving us the shed hype train. Hey there, I'm Gladiatoratops. Really pleased to have this out. You're currently doing 2P03 ready to London. Nice. Train Sim World, you can't choose. Well, that's just weak. Pick a train, man. Pick up a train. Mr. Antcore gives us a load of HST train. Excellent. Personally, I'm going to go with the 166, personally. And I'm kind of torn. The 66 is pretty awesome too. So when we're waiting we'll be able to see the clock down the bottom here. So it's currently 9:44. We've got to wait till 9:46. So we've got another 60 seconds. Over here, you've got the door close button. If I can get my controller right, there you go. That's the door close. Or again, if you press and hold the left, you can do lock right to close it as well. Let's just wait for this. You want to play Rattler Yard? It's out now in the Xbox Store. Want to drive? Come on, timetable. Hurry up. Brylar, no, this is running on an Xbox One, not an Xbox One X. Time to go. 7 seconds. Longest 7 seconds of my life. Blessed, you've been waiting ages for this. Me too. Me too. Right. Let's get the doors closed. Guards buzzer. Right, and then we apply the throttle. So again, this is a combined handle, so you can do it all on the one side, on the right-hand controller. So let's put it up to throttle 4, and away we go. Speed limit is shown by the red marker. Let me use the precision control. There you go. This red marker here tells me what my current speed limit is. Now we're looking to see what the next signal is for us. I can speed up a bit more. We've got a green with the looks of it. Excellent. Just coming up to the speed limit, which is 40. We've got green light ahead of us, so we're good to keep going. Next station. I'm not seeing. I think someone's trolling me and they've set my settings up to confuse me. Let's have a quick look. So over here we can turn things on and off. Yep, someone's been trolling me. So I'm going to leave the next signal. I'm going to put the next signal aspect off, put the next signal on, next signal speed limit on, and scenario marker. I think that's what I need. I can see those. Okay, I'm still missing a bit. Never let someone else set your machine up first. Objective marker. Oh, I know it. Yeah, we're good. We're good. It'll pop up in a minute. Am I a train conductor in real life? No, pork chops. I work for Dovetail Games. So the timetable, the timetable for Great Western Express is based on a sort of an average day. It's not specifically minute for minute the same as a genuine timetable, the real timetable, but it's here we go. Speed up a bit, but it is very close to it. We've taken a few liberties to give us a bit more functionality and a bit more opportunity for things. Next signal HUD is grey because I've turned off next signal aspect because, you know, hardcore. You can turn it on, and the default I think is on. But what I've got down here is if you turn next signal aspect on and we change that, then you'll notice it now shows that it's a yellow aspect. So I've got a 50 limit coming up. So if I now hold the right mouse button and go external cameras, front camera, right, you notice you can't move, and that's because you're still driving the train. If you look down the bottom right there's a picture that looks like a driver. If I press Y, it changes to a drone. Now I can move the camera. Right trigger goes up, left trigger goes down. You can even do something else, which is if you look, sorry if I'm making you dizzy. You can look down. If you hold the right bumper and move forward, it won't go down. It will hold horizontal hold essentially, so you don't see it doesn't go down. So you got used. It gives you a different camera. If I don't hold the right button down, then you get that. But anyway, if you hold the right stick and just AA, it'll always get you back into the cab. Getting back into the cab is always easy. Nearly running a red light, also very easy. Yeah, press the Y key to toggle between camera mode and drive mode. The reason it's done that way is because when you're outside the train, you want to have access to still be able to drive the train. So you press Y, put the camera where you want it, press Y again. Now everything is now about driving the train on the controller. When you want to move the camera, press Y, put the camera where you want it, press Y to go back into drive mode again. It means that you've got absolutely full control over the train, even when you're outside. Let's turn the indicator lights on down there. That made almost no difference. Right, we have a yellow light. We're switching over onto the other lines. Right, we popped up our next destination, Ealing Broadway, in 4 miles. Is this a slow service? It's sort of in the middle. So there is one that's slow and there is one that's faster. But this, so the slow one's sort of 17 minutes. I think it goes to Ealing Broadway. Then there's the fast one, which runs the entire length of the route and it doesn't stop very often. And then there's this one, which goes, I can't remember how far to, but this one stops occasionally. Semi-fast, yeah, that's probably right. Mr. Ancourt. So we've got double yellow signal, so we're good for another couple of blocks in front of us. Green. Alright, time to speed up. 4 miles. Due in at 9:55. We've got 3 miles to get, 3 minutes to get there. I think we might be late. Let's go and have a look outside again. Again, press the Y button. What are we doing? 50. What we'll do at the next station is I'll show you the passenger side, the passenger interior as well. Use the window wipers, so I'm trying to remember how to turn that on. Is it left click? There you go, there's the wipers. Turn it off with the left again. It's just left on the D-pad to just click the left on the D-pad. Oh, I know, that's because it's speeding it up, isn't it? Try that. So what we got? 2.6 miles. We're doing 63 miles an hour now. This train's capable of 90, if I remember right. It says up here. Yeah, 90. It's a diesel hydraulic DMU. Can you open the driver's window? No, unfortunately you can't. You can open the door when we stop, but you can't open the driver's window. Dogs, nads, glad you're enjoying it. I should also show you the map view while we're here. In fact, I'll do the map view when we do the next scenario. Bit of Class 66 action next. .7 miles. Keep the throttle on. a single yellow light here, so I'm going to bring the speed down. It's on double yellow, don't have to worry twice so much. Clearly chasing something. Probably that other train that was we were running beside earlier on. One mile to go. Let's take the power off and we'll start looking at slowing down. Sorry, I'm looking over there so I can have a look at the chat. What train am I driving, oh Fire Rocket O? I am driving a Class 166 diesel multiple unit. I'll show you the outside in a minute once we get stopped. There's a tutorial on the light signals. No, there isn't. However, I'd say your name. Oh, Mad Mike. There you go. There isn't a tutorial on the light signals, but basically green means go full line speed. Double yellow means roughly go about 2/3 line speed. Single yellow means go roughly about 1/3 line speed, and red means hopefully don't go past this signal. It's kind of the red and the green kind of mean what you're used to on a road. Right, we're coming into Ealing Broadway now. Control panel to the right, this one. Let's open the doors with the button this time. Right, this time I'm going to get out and we're going to have a wander round. Because you can get on as a... in fact, in service mode, you can get on, you can sit in any one of these seats. And you can wait and the AI will take the train for you. It won't work in this scenario because it's kind of expected me to drive. But you can walk the entire train, you can ride the train as a passenger, get off other places. Service mode's kind of like an open world where you can make up what you want to do. We need to be getting going. Why are you sitting in my seat? Thank you. Oh, there is a signalling article. I don't know if one of the team want to just paste that link onto the channel. That'd be really useful. Right, let's lock the doors. I'll do it with the button again this time. Right, we've stopped. Off to Southall. Oops. Step 4 is good. So we've got the greens repeaters there, which tells us we're good at the next signal. Let's get it up to notch 7. This is the first time I've actually, personally, I've streamed on Mixer, so it's a really interesting experience. I'm told that the link for the signalling guide is now in the channel description. If you want to refresh, maybe you can see that, if you're interested. I haven't turned AWS on, Mr. Ankor. I was just thinking maybe I could do that next. .9 miles to Southall. Why so slow? Trains take a long time to get started. They're not. They're big and heavy. They go fast, but they take a while to get that fast. It's not like a car. So you press and hold, go to external, go to front camera. Remember to press Y, and you can move the camera around. This is what the train looks like from the outside. What are we looking at? 2 miles. I was following adverse signals, fierce power, previously. Again, they take quite a while to stop, so if you're following anything other than the green, then you don't really want them to go too fast. Ah, even Train Sim World's throwing a failed train at me. What are you throwing a failed train at for me? Yeah, I forgot that. I was supposed to do that at the last station stop, wasn't I? Let's just press that button. Where are we going to? 30-minute service to Slough. Okay. So once Southall, everyone shout at me when we get to Southall because to remind me to turn AWS on. Alright, getting ready to slow down now, so get ready to stop. 1.7 miles, double yellow. AWS is the automatic warning system, and I'll explain it as we use it. It's quite a simple system, but it's there to make sure the driver's watching what he's doing, so the fail train will be real. What's planned for the future of TSW in terms of content? You'll be seeing more about that as time goes on. I haven't got anything I can share with you at the moment, Howie. You can actually turn these markers off as well, if I remember rightly, if you don't want the markers on the ground. Right, what we'll do, we'll get stopped, we'll open the doors. I'll use the D-pad this time for the doors, just for a bit of variety. So press and hold the left D-pad, unlock left. Right, if we now stand up here, there is a thing which says DSD. So I'm going to press that button. And then over here on the back wall, there's one that says AWS. So that's now making a noise. Right, that's got the AWS. So there's that alarm, there's this yellow flower, what we call the AWS sunflower, and there is the big acknowledge button. No, I can't find. Oh, there it is. The big acknowledge button there, which is also accessed with the B key. So, there's two systems I've just enabled. Let's wait until the door loaders. So first one is called the DSD, which is the driver safety device. The driver safety device is operated with this foot pedal, and it's also reset with the B key. And what that means is that if every 60 seconds or every time you don't operate the controls for the 60 seconds, an alarm will sound in the cab to make sure that you're paying attention. Here we go, lock doors, so D-pad left, lock the left doors. And that's all there is to DSD. It's just every time you hear the alarm, you press the B key and it will clear it. The other one is the AWS. So every time you go over these ramps, and there's one right in front of us actually. So let's just move over here. Oh no, this isn't an AWS ramp. So whenever you go over an AWS ramp, which are in the middle of the track and they're yellow and they look a bit like that, in the middle of the track there. Now I'll show you on the next when we come over. When you go over that, if the next signal is anything other than green, then an alarm will sound in the cab. If you don't acknowledge it by pressing the B key, then the train will come to a halt. If you do acknowledge it, then the train won't come to a halt. And really, that's the extent of it. If you hear a ping, that means the next station is green, the next signal is green, and all is good. It's really there just to sort of back up. Is the driver awake, paying attention? So we should get an AWS in a minute because we've got a single yellow. So I'll cut back on the throttle because there's no point going too fast, we won't get to stop. So you should get an alarm any minute now. Press the B key and then that answers it. So that's a double yellow signal now. Hayes and Harlington is the next station. That's where the overhead catenary swings off to the left. That's basically where the Heathrow lines come along. We'll be carrying on the main line. This is the Great Western Main Line, which is a major place in the UK. Let's measure that speed a bit, given we're coming up on single yellow the last time we looked. Someone asked, can you uncouple the cards, Anthony Mack? So in certain circumstances, where it requires it, you can. The coupling buttons are all down here and they do work. However, you can't uncouple bits of a multiple unit. But if you've got two multiple units coupled together, you can uncouple them. Acknowledge that. Again, that's the AWS. Right, I'm going to leave the controls and let's see whether or not we can get the DSD and you can hear that. It's a slightly different alarm. Is the background scenery true to real life? Reasonably, yes, Dognuts. It's built to be a replica or a representation of the real route. I mean, obviously, you can't get every blade of grass accurate. That's an unreasonable request. But it is intended. You should see industrial estates where there are industrial estates. You should recognise it, and certainly the feedback I've had from people who know the route well, and I've been train spotting on this line. Take my word for it, but yeah, I find the route very, very recognisable. Right, slow the train down. How easy to drive closed use? There's 3 tutorials, one for each train, and literally at the moment I'm just using 2 buttons on the controller. So bumper to put the brakes on. There you go, that's a green light, we just had a ping. And then the trigger to put the throttle on. Other trains, there's more controls. Sometimes you may even need to be accessing all this stuff in the cab, but sometimes not. It really depends on the train and what you're doing with the train. I don't need to stop here, pork chops. Troll train. Troll train. Alright, open the doors. Protege, I'm a good host. Well, thank you very much. If you guys got questions, I know some of you are firing questions. Some of them I've got answers for. Some of them the team outside logged in as Train Sim World. They'll be answering some of your questions as well. We'll do our best to answer the questions, or at least take a note of them and get back to you with answers or via social media. Do you get to drive the train that goes through the seedy part of town and then break up the inevitable drunken homebrew brawl? In this world, there are no drunks. Everyone loves trains. I take it you're a real driver because your knowledge is impressive. Well, thank you very much, X-Lock, but no, I'm not a real driver. I've never driven a car. Well, sorry, that's a lie. I have driven a train in my life. It was a little tiny shunter up and down 10-foot of track, but that's the extent of it. I'm the senior producer for Train Sim World, so I'm also a bit of a train nut. Right, let's get going. Got a green light, 2.3 miles to next destination on West Drayton. Will I get fired if I skip a station? I don't know, I've never tried that. Probably not. I'll just get ridiculed for a week. I tell you what, I don't know quite what happened, but I was doing a demonstration earlier on today of something else, and I called a turntable a roundabout. Oh. I don't know what. You know those moments where your brain just lets you down? And I said, yeah, we put all the trains round the roundabout. No, turntable. Oh, no. And yeah, they're already not letting me live it down. Right, got green light coming up there. It just changed. Yeah, it's on Xbox now, Hog Dogs. It just released today, this afternoon. So what you're seeing here on the right is Airport Junction. So this is where all the Heathrow Connect, Heathrow Express trains, they go up on there and then they turn left, and Heathrow Airport is south of us. So we're heading east-west, and Heathrow Airport is then south. So if I press the other button, you can see the junction there, look. I think that was a double yellow, wasn't it? Hopefully it was a double yellow. Either that or I'm going to have to test these brakes out. The 166, being a commuter train, has got fairly fierce brakes, but they'll only forgive so much. We're following another train, if I remember rightly, Bishlik. Remember at the beginning we ran side by side and we got held up and then we got signalled in behind the other train, and I think that's what's causing the adverse signals on this run. Carrothead, do I actually enjoy playing this game? Absolutely. I've been personally playing train simulation games, including this one and previous ones, since about 2001. Phone a friend. Not sure you like the control setup, YSHW. What is it you don't like about the control setup? Out of interest. Right, slowing down. Left that braking a little bit on the late side, but never mind. Thankfully, this thing, like I said, has got fairly forgiving brakes. Yeah. Oh, we've got double yellow at the end of the platform. See you later, Protege. You liking the controls, Crazy Colour? That's good. Yes, Swansea Gunner. This came out today. What's the fastest I've achieved on this particular train? Well, it goes a maximum speed of 90. So I don't think I've ever pushed it beyond that. There's not really any downhills on this route either, so you can't find a nice downhill and throw it down the hill. So, where are we? West Drayton. You're currently sat as a passenger on the HST on this game while watching the stream. Oh, fantastic. Right, open the doors. Riding as a passenger is really chill. It's really relaxing. One of the things that I like to do is look at the timetable. Can one of the mods there post the link to the timetable, please? So look at the timetable and try and figure out, well, if I spawn in the world at Slough at this time, I can catch a train as a passenger to Reading, and then I can take the HST from Reading at this time to London, catch a passenger train back to Acton, and then I can take the Class 66, and just try and come up with these little chains of little things that you can do to stay in the world effectively in service mode. Right, 40 miles per hour. Master switch moves without you moving it. I'm not quite sure how that would happen in YSHW. Right, 1.1 miles. Not tonight, Gav. Not tonight. Ivor is next. Not Ivor the engine. Are there random events that can happen that can cause you to be late? No. No, the timetable is... There might be unexpected things that can happen in a scenario, but then they'll happen all the time on that particular scenario. No, there are no random events. You'll have enough trouble teething into the timetable, I suspect. Dave, we're always working on more. Always working on more. There's lots to be done. The team are constantly busy. For anyone that's having any difficulties, having any question, can the moderators post a link to how folks can get support, and make sure that you log support requests so that someone can get back to you. If you've got any questions like how do I do this in the game, now is a really good time because I can show you how you do it in the game. Like for example, the camera. Is there anyone here who hasn't seen how you access the camera function properly and move the camera around? Maybe I'll do that again in a minute. What happens if you speed up? Pork chops, are you trying to make me miss stations and fall off track? Can you access an external view camera as a passenger? You certainly can. Actually, let's try that. I'm trying to work out if you can. I know on PC on keyboards you can, but I'm trying to work out if you can with the controller. Well, let me find out. Shall we just go and sit in a seat and find out once we open the doors? If not, then that's possibly something that needs to be looked at. No. Okay. All right. I'll make a note to ask the team about that. She's in my seat again. Probably do a better job, to be honest. Just waiting for it to load these passengers. Hopefully we haven't got too much longer now, actually. If you're new to trains, Riven Rhyme, does it guide you through when to do things like start slowing down now? So there's actually 4 tutorials. There's one tutorial for each of the locomotives. Sorry, trains. I didn't just do that. And there's also one tutorial that shows you about how you stop a train on the platform. So there are tutorials that you can do which will show you some of the stuff. What have I done? It's almost like I think the doors are open still. I thought I'd shut the doors. I think I broke. What have I done? One chat, what have I done? I activated the emergency. Oh, the emergency brake is on. Oh, in that case, we'll have to wait. TBWS is on, Peachlick. How does the game feel compared to PC? Pretty much identical, actually. I mean, it runs and plays pretty much the same. Oh, is that what I've done? There you go. See what you mean now. Twit. Right, heading for Langley next. So let me hold the right controller, and switch it to front camera again. So just to remind you, press the Y key to toggle between driver and camera mode. There you go, screenshot taken, press not the map button. Good shout there, Stratage. One mile for Langley. Tornado Ben, I'm running this on a standard Xbox One. Can I make a polite request to not send messages, please? Thank you. Right. 0.6 miles. That's the DSD. That short beeps is the DSD. Which is just, you haven't touched the controls in a while. Are you still there? I don't think you can plug in a keyboard to an Xbox. No, Tom Bus. Okay, Graham. Yeah, this is the same as Great Western Express on the on PC. Same trains, same service mode. Go to settings, preferences, and turn notifications off. Okay, hang on a second. Can you crash? Yes. We're trying not to today. Right, hang on a second, folks. Right, just fixing this. Turns out it's set to spam the screen just about. Right, let's go with that, shall we? Ugh, scary screen. Right, there we go. We unlock the doors. You get the low tone. Yeah, if you just get hold of the horn, you can move it in either direction. You guys hear sound okay coming from the game? It's a bit quiet at the moment. Can you hear the horn? Oh yeah, you can. I must admit, I've got the sound turned down a bit on OBS, so it may be that's what's... because when I was looking at it earlier on, it seemed to be loud. Maybe I'll try turning it up a bit. How's that? P-Schlick, as far as I'm aware, you can't plug a PC keyboard into an Xbox. Happy to be proven wrong, but I don't think so. Can you buy a Twix from the buffet carriage for £6.85? No, Project Platinum. But however, the HST has a buffet carriage. The 166 does not have a buffet carriage. Not even a cart service. Red Devil Gaming says, yes, you can plug a keyboard in. Oh, there you go. I'm proven wrong. I am proven wrong on a daily basis. That's fine too. You have to buy an adapter, apparently. Right. I can't say it's something I've tried. So. Can you get in the toilets, Stratage? No. You can't get in the toilets. Really, one of the reasons for not letting you get into the toilet in the game is that's a mistake you just don't want to make. You know, there should be a clear boundary so that you know where you should be going to the toilet. Just saying. Right, green light. Next is Slough, and that's our final stop. Will this be on disc or just download? So Founders Edition will just be on download. What happens in the future, I'm not 100% clear on at the moment, but keep an eye on the social channels. 1.8 miles to Slough, and then we'll do a different scenario. Is this my job, Wilbur? If you mean making Train Sim World, then I work with an amazing team that make Train Sim World, yes. Did Matt spad at all, Golden Knight? The scenario isn't finished yet. The scenario isn't finished yet. Typing this on your Xbox with a Logitech USB mouse keyboard combo. Nice. There's that first. There you go. We're on the featured section. Hello, featured section. Dragline is like the pinnacle of the scenarios, Peachlick. It kind of is. What I might do actually is I'll run the first couple of minutes of Dragline, because that's the super awesome bit, and then we'll do Aggregate Industries. So 1.1 miles. Come on, train, speed up. Always time for a Caterpillar ace pad. Yeah, I know. Trust me. Signal's double yellow. 0.8 miles. Cut power. So what's he gonna do? I think there'll be a free trial out on Xbox for the game. I don't know, Swansea Bonner. I don't think so, but that'll be one for the official team to answer. Spiral Galaxy, you've always wanted to drive an HST, but you're stuck with 458/5s and 707s. Well, in this game, you could drive an HST. We're at 480 yards. I couldn't give you it in chains, though, unfortunately. A little bit of overspeeding, whoopsie. Coast into the platform. This is a platform you come in slowly for reasons of buffer stop. Brakes on full service, reverser 2 off, and we'll upload master. Go.
Good work on that run. There are plenty more duties you can sign up to if you're interested.
One other thing, if you get stuck on the track, so let's say, let's not jump in front of that track. So if you come down here and you get stuck on the track, you can't jump up because there's no jump key. So what you do is you find these little things here and press the Y key and it will jump you up. Are UK lines available on this Red Fox? This is a UK line, yes. Right, and I was late at every stop. GG me. Right, let us do a brief moment with the dragline scenario, because there's some really cool interactivity on that. What would happen if we went in the front of that train? Then it would it just kind of pushes you along. There's no death and destruction there. Right, so if we go into here, I'm going to do dragline. Actually, Peachlick. I know Peachlick. You can do me a favour, Peachlick. Can you have a look at the timetable for me and get me a time I can start at Paddington and get on to 166 heading to that stops at Acton? If you could, please. I'll show you a bit of passenger mode. Well, not passenger mode, but service mode, where you can sort of make your mind up if you want to drive a train or ride one. What would be ideal, Peachlick, is if the at Acton there's a Class 66 due out. That would be the ideal. If I can get from
one of the high-speed trains coming out of London
Paddington to Acton passenger and then take a 66 out.
The train needs
I know there's two or three that match up like that.
Common for repairs. One of the high-speed trains coming out of London has developed a fault and terminated here at Reading. The train needs to be towed back to the Old Oak Common for repairs. We've called you off your break to be the driver of this rescue move. A Class 66 is being brought out of Reading Depot, just to the west. Meet the locomotive when it arrives in the station.
Oh, they've added some links to some useful docs in the channel description. There you go. So if there's any information you're looking for, have a look there, folks. Let's climb up the escalator here. Don't forget you can run with the right trigger. Apparently I can't walk in a straight line. So there's also collectibles on the platforms that you'll find. So this is one of the collectibles, and the collectibles are things that you walk up to. In this case, it's a map. So if you walk up to it, then you'll get you'll place the map on there. There are 3 different types of collectibles, and there's 25 of each of them. So have a look around for the different collectibles. I think there's warning signs, sort of step back, keep back from the platform edge type signs. There's the maps. I can't actually remember what the last one is. So we're waiting here now for our train to arrive. Can you get on any train and drive it? In service mode, Red Fox, you can get on any train. In a scenario, you should do as you're told, essentially. It's like following a set of instructions to complete a mission. You don't wait for trains, trains wait for you. To Golf 22. Didn't bring my pen. That's really useful. That's really useful. Let me just fire up Notepad on the PC over here. 2G22 over to 4 Victor 38. Right, I'll explain what I do when we get to that in a minute. Thank you, Peachlick. Much appreciated, sir. So this is, for those of you that are just joining us, this is Train Sim World Founders Edition, and it's on Xbox One. You can get that now. I'm playing on Xbox One. Check out my big controller. Oh yes. What are the achievements? So actually, that's not a bad shout. If I press the button here and go over to the game mode, then if you look at the progress, you can see the achievements down here. So there's things like turbo power, so reaching 90 miles an hour in the 166, travelling a mile on foot, travelling 100 miles in any loco. So these are pretty straightforward achievements to get. Some of them will take you a bit longer, like driving Class 66 for 660 miles, but there's a pretty good spread there. Fearless, waiting for it to download. Fantastic. Right, we need to get on our 66. This is the Class 66, otherwise known as a shed. Right.
Thanks for helping us on this job. You need to get that locomotive over to the failed HST and hook it up. Head out to the Kennet Bridge Loop, and then you'll get a pass back into Reading Station.
Reverser in, forward. Turn the headlights, that's up here. Don't want the cab desk lights on. Right, let's. We've got a red light at the moment, but what I am going to do is brakes are off. Good. So we're just waiting for a light and we can get moving. Tail lights on. Are the tail lights on? Well, I'm a light loco, so I need tail lights. There we go. A bit of power on, off we go. Rolling. Can you do free roam in the game? So you can do service mode with the trains. The train, you can't control where the trains will going. You don't like trains, Towler? Can't understand you as a person. So that switch operates the red lights in the rear. So this is an interesting point there, Stratage. So this came up late on in the development of Great Western. So according to the manual, the Class 66, the tail light switch in Cab 1 operates the tail lights on Cab 2. Turns out that when they actually made most of the Class 66s, they didn't do that. So this works according to the manual. Well, I haven't got AWS and stuff switched on here, so by manual, by the way, I mean the actual operator's manual from the EMD for the Class 66. Third person, so if you press and hold the right stick, you bring up the menu, external cameras, front rear camera, so click that. You press the Y key, and you can unlock it so that you can move the camera around. Press the Y key again, and then you can drive the train. Press the right stick, and then press A twice, and it'll drop you back into the cab. How many missions? So there's, I think, 6 or 7 scenarios. There's something like 400 service sort of things that you can do. 4 tutorials. What about freight trains? This is a freight train, Space Phoenix. This is a freight train. So the brakes on this are also quite interesting. These are what they call PDL brakes. And it works, if you look at this middle gauge here, as I apply the brake, which I'm not going to do just yet because I don't need it, but as I apply the brake, there's an outer needle that will go down and it will set. And so effectively what you're saying is more brakes, less brakes on the lever, which is really interesting. It takes a bit of practice if what you're used to is sort of like more conventional brake systems. Are you able to do ECS trains? There are some ECS trains in the timetable, yes, Spyro, I think. I don't think they're down as 5s, I think they're down as 6s. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, there are ECS services in the timetable. I remember putting them in. Right, so now we need to apply the brakes. Slow down. Do you get to hit jumpers? Just cardigans, Rex. Just cardigans. There's no violence in the game, there's no blood and gore. Is this based on real tracks, Duncan Charlotte? Indeed, the tracks, signals, the scenery are all based on the real thing. Reverser into neutral and take the master key out. Set up the tail lights to off, headlights off. This is why I like this scenario. This is there's a lot of messing about at the beginning of this scenario, which is, you know, it's what it's all about, isn't it, really? Change ends now. There is a way of shutting the door. Okay. It's going to change ends. One of the things I like about the fact, because this is first person, you can get out of the train, which makes the train feel that much more real. It's sort of a weird thing. It's no different than it would be normally, but the fact that I can get out and I can open doors and it feels like I'm playing with a real train, which is what we're here for, really. My arms aren't long enough, Peachley. Thanks. Right, master key on and reverse to forwards. Headlights to daytime. Tail lights on. No, that's nighttime. Let's do it the daytime way. Right, hold the brakes and release. One thing to note also, by the way, is there's two different types of brakes on, certainly on this train. And so a minute ago, what happened there is I pressed the release button and nothing happened. And it's because it's controlling the other brake handle, which is this one. So if I move the brake handle on, you can see it moving. If you press the X button, then you control the other one. So you can use the X button to switch between the brake types. Right, so the brake's discharging at the moment. We've got a red light, so we're not going anywhere fast. Signal permitting. Now we're waiting for an HST to go by, which looks like it might be coming past now. There we go, there's the signal. Drunken Shaolin, this is running on an Xbox right now. I'm playing this on the Xbox One. It's streaming through via capture card via Ultra PC, but the actual game is running on the Xbox. HST hype? Can we get some HST hype on the chat? Come on, let's get some HST hype on the chat. Chrome, HSDC, HST, high speed train. That one that just went past us there in the other direction. So we've got to stop shortly. We're holding for a red light, which will then get us a permission to go back to come back into the platform. So what happens is we've come from Reading, we've gone all the way out, and then we're coming back in on a different line, which will then bring us in front of the HST that's failed, and then we get to go through the coupling process, which is pretty fun. Switch to direct brake because it's easier to manage the brakes. It's a horn. The train engineering controls accurate to the real world. Yeah, we model the loco from the manual, from photographs, from visits and so forth. So yeah, the gauges, the controls should be pretty close to real. So that second gauge is the bogey brakes, and you can see there as I mess about with the brakes, you can see that as the needles come up and down like that you can see as the brakes are coming on. So at the moment they are they're released as they're pointing completely down. So you can see we've got a red light up ahead, 260 yards. We're not going to get any time to do anything else. This is the last thing we've got time for. Never mind. I could play this game all night. It's really bad. They're all chatting frantically on the Skype channel we've got here, saying, "Please make sure he goes home tonight, doesn't play it all night." No, I'm in here and you're not coming to get me. Taser, it's a solo game. Strategize, you're going to be streaming. Awesome. So I stopped. Contact the signaller. Hold the D-pad to bring up the dispatch. Hit request. Right, see the white lights that just came up there? Say that we've now got permission to proceed. So release the direct brake. We now have to pull up in front of the train. So put a couple of notches of power on. Tornado in. This is the same Xbox that you've got. See this puppy can do. It ain't gonna go very far. There's a train right in front of us. But there's other functions on here, like the train length. There is this panel up here. This is operational. I'll show you that in a minute. Actually, once we get stopped, I will show you how that panel works, because that's called the EM2000, and you can use that to manage things like slow speed control. You can even use it to switch off some of the motors on the train, which is quite fun. Let me get stopped in front of this HST, otherwise I'm going to get so engrossed in doing that we're going to end up crashing into the HST and everyone will really love that. Except me. Now we're on a call-on indicator, so we can't really rev it up too much, Chrome. We need to be keeping an eye on our speed because we're approaching obstruction. Put brake in hold, so we're ready to apply. Yeah, the HSTs are still in use as P6 says because they are good and they are reliable. You totally haven't Nebworth twice. Oh dear, Tornado. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. For those that don't know that joke, Nebworthing is missing a stop completely. What the controls like on Xbox Lewis Bliss game? Well, personally, and I'm biased because I kind of helped put them together, but I like them. It's you can do everything you need to be able to do. But I'm interested to hear what everybody else thinks on the chat. What do you think of the controls? Right. More power. We've quite got to the right place. Skill, the concentration. Excellent. Right. What's it going to ask me to do now? Now we need to couple up to that HST. Rescue. Climb out and activate the Buckeye coupler. So this locomotive has actually got two different types of couplers. It uses the screwed-in couplers, which are used for most UK stock, which is what this hook is, or you've got the Buckeye. So if you click that, then you can swing out the Buckeye coupler, which is sort of more of an American stock. Then over here, the HST, you think to yourself, well, how can you couple to this? Surely you can't couple to this. Well, you can, because if you open this, tuck down here, and then click that, it puts a coupler on there for you. So now you can couple to it. So let's hop up this very conveniently placed step, get back into the locomotive, and couple up. We'll leave the door open. Right, so let's release the direct brake. Thank you, NASCAR. Hope you're enjoying it. Gently apply some power. I'm not going to say how many times I have not gently applied the power. So knuckle couplers will also couple, so that's good. Right, coupled. Right, put that in release so that the brakes are off. Put the reverser into neutral. And click the master key out. Turn headlights and tail lights to off. And now we need to head to the other end of the HST. We're almost at the end of this one. Right, run down the other end of the HST. This is done as they would normally. If you want to, you can also climb on board the carriages, and you can walk around the interiors. But we won't do that just now. We're supposed to be doing something else. Can you check tickets? No, you can't check tickets now. That'd be cool, wouldn't it? Right, so we've got brakes and headlights and lights to set up on this end. So from here I need to handle the parking brake, and I need to put the headlights onto tail lights. That's it. That's all we need to do. The back of the train. Let's just double check. We're now showing tail lights. Right, let's get to the other end.
Passengers are reminded that smoking is prohibited at all stations.
What's that? One thing that does sometimes confuse people, I've noticed when they're playing this, just as a tip, is when you're in here, if you use the direct brake to stop the train and leave it in the hold position, which is where it's vertical like this, then you won't be able to release the brakes when you get to the other cab. So what we're about to do. So let me come over here. What you'll find is you come over here and you can't release the brakes, and it's because you need to make sure that it's released in the other cab. Right, so seats. Right, now let's put the master key
You're all
on.
connected up and ready to go. Once signals give you clearance, you're good to head over to Old Oak Common.
The lights on. That's it. Don't need tail lights, we're with everything else. What I am going to do is if you open the fuse cabinet in here, then this is your DSD. And then this fuse over here is your AWS. So as soon as we've got a signal, which we've got, we can release the brakes. Brakes are just coming off. A couple of notches of power, and away we go. So again, press and hold the right, external, front camera. Don't forget to press the Y key to toggle between drive and camera mode. Y key, Y button, buttons. And off we go, folks. Just to prove it is coupled. It's even got the brake hoses have been added. And you can also add the. It's a bit hot in the cab. Open the windows. Also, let some of that lovely air in from outside. The other thing I was going to show you while we get started, while it gets moving, but just before we finish, is the EM2000. So the EM2000 gives you a bit of information about what's going on, and you press the F3 for select and look at data meters. You can come out of that screen, use the arrow keys here, go traction cutout for example. In that I've got truck 1, which is the front bogie. Truck is an American word for the bogie, and you've got traction motors 1, 2 and 3, and then you can also switch to the next page, which gives you traction motors 4, 5 and 6. So you can actually cut out motors. If you want to. So you've got lots of functionality on here. Slow speed control is done on here as well. And there's one scenario, Aggregate Industries actually do, we'll show you how to set up slow speed control. So, but anyway, that's that. So if I just internal cameras, engineer seat, go back to that. There's a bunch of different cameras on the internal. So you've got the overhead panel, you've got the AWS panel. This is the lights that tell you when they're on or off. The lights are off because the systems are on. The main desk, so you've got this is the main desk. We've got more, we've got main stand, fuse panels, head out left, so I can stick the head out the cab. So you've got lots of options for how you can view. Obviously, you always, no matter what view you're in, hold the right stick, AA, and that always puts you back into driving the train. I think that's probably about it. If you've got any more questions as that come up, ask the team. Make sure you use the support address. The links are all there on the channel page. And I really look forward to seeing you. Share some videos, share some screenshots on the Game Hub, and I'm really keen to see what people are doing with the game. Get your feedback, and it's really cool. Right, so following on from this stream, stay tuned. We're going to be hosting Frodo86, who's just getting started as we finish ours. So looking forward to see what Frodo has to show. And that's it from me. So thank you very, very much for watching. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and so happy that this is on Xbox. It's just amazing. I will see you on the next stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.